My name is Saurabh, and in today's video I am going to consider interaction effect using a cake baking experiment. During lockdown, cake was a very popular recipe tried out at nearly every household, and maybe you have tried it on your own at your house also, isn't it? So the results we are going to consider are from a student that had tried baking a cake in several experiments. He had considered three outcome variables. The first outcome variable was taste. The second outcome was softness of the cake, and the third outcome was the shelf life of the cake. Now you may ask, why did he measure three outcomes? So here is a piece of advice that whenever you run experiments, even if you have only one outcome variable as your current objective, try to measure as many outcomes as you possibly can, because you never know in future which outcome you will be interested in, and it will be very expensive to repeat experiments at that time. So measure as much as you can in the first time. Even the variables which you are not interested in right now can be measured. So let's go back to the taste outcome and ignore the other two outcomes for now for the sake of calculation. Taste is obviously a subjective measurement. So these results are going to be very specific to my students' taste. Students in my class are not qualified testers. So this outcome is very subjective. What that means is that if you are repeating these experiments, your answer may actually be quite different. So back to the cake, the factors that we considered were the baking type and the type of sweetener. We don't need to go into the detailed recipe of the cake because we are considering only these two factors. The baking time values that the student used were 8 minutes and 14 minutes. And for the type of sweetener he chose either honey or sugar. All the other settings in the recipe were kept constant throughout the experiments. Here are the test results: 3, 5, 4 and 9. 3 is a very bad tasting cake and 9 is a really good one. This is on a scale from 1 to 10. It is clear that the best tasting cake was produced when using sugar and baking time of 14 minutes, whereas the worst tasting cake, which had a 3 point, was made on honey and baked for a short time of 8 minutes. Let us start with an interaction plot for the two types of sweeteners, and we see the lines here are divergent. They are definitely not parallel this time. When the lines are not parallel, this is the evidence of interaction. If we draw the second interaction plot and change the choice of the variable on the horizontal axis to be the sweetener and redraw the plots, we have one line for short cooking times and another line for longer cooking times, and again we will observe divergence, again demonstrating that there is an interaction. Recall what we had said earlier. Interactions imply the effect of one variable depends on the level of the other variables. Our conclusion here is that effect of sweetener type depends on the duration that it is baked for. In other words, the time factor. Another visualization I showed you last time was the contour plot, and when we draw a contour plot for this system, we notice that there is some non-linearities here. In order to connect these lines, we need to have curves in them to make it work. When we use the term curvature to describe this sort of non-linearity, and curvature is the evidence that there might be interaction in our system. Let's try to quantify the system numerically. We are going to apply what we have learned in the previous videos and see if we can predict the taste. Start with the main effects. Main effects is a term we use to describe how the factor will affect the outcome. In this example, there are two factors, so there are two main effects. Let's start with baking time. Always quantify this main effect from high to low. So we are using sugar. The main effect is 9 minus 4, which equals 5. And when we use honey, it is 5 minus 3, which equals 2. So we can say on average the main effect of time is to increase the taste by 3.5 units. But remember, only report half this number, which is 1.75. Next, we examine the main effect of sweetener. When we move from high to low, we can see this is 9 minus 5, that is 4. And the change at low baking time is 4 minus 3, which equals 1. So the average of 4 and 1 is 2.5. There is a 2.5 unit change on average in taste when we go from using honey to sugar. Remember that we report half of the value again. So 1.25. Okay, so now you need to pay close attention. Let's try to quantify this interaction numerically. Keep factor B at its high level and note that we have a change of 5 units when A is changed. Now put factor B at its low level and we see a change of 2 units. There is a bit of discrepancy here, 5 over there and 2 down here. A system with no interaction will have these individual effects of A roughly the same, but 5 and 2 are actually quite different. Interaction is mathematically defined as half the difference when factor B is high and subtract from it when factor B is low. Let's show that mathematically, that is 5 minus 2 and then divide that by 2, in other words 1.5, and by convention again we report only half of that value, that is 0.75. Do you remember we said that interactions are symmetrical? So let's try it again by looking at it from the other perspective, that is compare the difference for factor B at high and low levels of A this time. So the effect of sweetener type at long cooking times is a difference of 4 units. That same difference when using short cooking times is only a difference of 1 unit. Those two values are quite different, plus 1 and plus 4. The half difference this time is 4 minus 1 divided by 2, and that's the value of 1.5. The same value as before. Why? Because interactions are symmetrical. Remember? Again, we report only half of this, so a 0.75. So let's go ahead and add that term to our prediction model. There is only one term missing from this prediction equation, and that's our baseline taste. That baseline is the average of all 4 values. So 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 9, and then divide all of that by 4. That equals to 5.25, and we will add that number right up there at the front. Our prediction for taste is 1.75 times XA plus 1.25 times XB, that is our baking time, and the interaction value of 0.75, we can multiply that by XA XB. It is symmetrical and multiplicative, so we can also write it as XB XA, but for now I am keeping it as XA into XB into 0.75. So this is our interaction term. Now that our prediction model is ready, let's take a look and see how well our predictions work. Try to predict the taste when using sugar and cooking for a time of 8 minutes. So that predicted taste is 5.25 plus 1.7 times minus 1 plus 1.25 times plus 1 plus this interaction of 0.75 times minus 1 times plus 1. This shows our baseline taste is 5.25, but using short baking times removes 1.75 from our taste score. Using sugar improves the taste by 1.25 units. And the interaction works against us, unfortunately, and subtracts of 0.75 units. So our total prediction here is 4. Try it again, but using baking time of 14 minutes and sugar as a sweetener. So now XA and XB will be equal to plus 1. Now our prediction is 5.25 plus an additional 1.75 for the baking time plus 1.25 for using sugar, and now the interaction works in our favor by adding 0.75 units for the taste. This gets us to a cumulative of 9 points. Now this all may seem very messy, but it is well worth it, because what we get is a really good prediction model that accounts for the interactions within our system and the main effects. Interactions means that the main effect of one factor depends on the value of another factor, and that's the real thing you need to remember about an interaction. Also, bear in mind that interactions are symmetrical, and one way we can see that over here is mathematically. XA times XB is the same as XB times XA. Now let's just step back and take one important piece of advice away from today's video. Never do any work without critically thinking about the interpretation of these numbers. These are just numbers if we don't interpret them. What is the message they are telling us? We can see that we get better taste if we increase the baking time from 8 minutes to 14 minutes. But what will happen to taste if we go on cooking for 16 minutes, 18 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes and so on? Will the taste really keep improving? Think of all those burnt cakes you are going to create. We saw that we improved taste by changing from honey to sugar. But why was this? Does this actually make any sense? Remember, taste is subjective. I think this student preferred the taste of sugar over honey. Sugar is certainly a more complex ingredient than honey. I prefer sugar as well, but many of my friends don't like the taste and like honey much more. Another important point, how do we interpret the interaction? Is there any reason why we get a better taste with sugar at longer baking time? Both experiments with sugar had better taste after all. But it seems like sugar, when cooked for a longer time, brings out much better taste than honey. Perhaps the chemical reactions that are occurring during that baking in the oven give it a better taste, and because of the longer duration, they are given longer times for those reactions to complete. That possibly is what leads to better taste. Okay, so that is it for today's video, all about interactions. I hope you get a chance to view this video second time. It is not always very easy to understand this interaction concept in the first go, so please feel free to watch it again and revise your concept. Thank you for watching. Bye.